The money habit that keeps you poor but feels smart. Do you know that a single money habit can make you feel rich while quietly keeping you financially stuck for years? Many people believe they are making smart financial decisions, but in reality, a subtle habit quietly undermines their wealth. It often feels logical, responsible, or even necessary. Understanding this behavior is the first step toward breaking the cycle. Let's examine how it works and why it is so effective. The habit that feels smart. The habit that traps most people financially is commonly known as false justification spending. This occurs when purchases are framed as investments in productivity, personal growth, or professional success. Upgrading gadgets, paying for premium services, or buying designer items can all seem like strategic choices. On the surface, it appears responsible. A new laptop is justified as a tool for efficiency. A luxury bag may be framed as a professional image enhancer. A yearly vacation could be sold to yourself as necessary for mental well-being. Individually, these choices do not seem harmful. However, consistently rationalizing spending this way has a cumulative effect. Over time, the money spent on items with little real value surpasses what could have been saved or invested. According to a 2024 survey by Bankrate, 64% of respondents admitted buying products that they initially considered investments, but later recognized as unnecessary. Why people fall for it? This habit is reinforced by human psychology. When spending aligns with personal goals or self-improvement, it releases dopamine, making the purchase feel rewarding. People convince themselves they are making a calculated decision. You may believe that investing in a more expensive phone will improve productivity, or that signing up for a premium course will boost your career. Do these purchases really provide measurable benefits over time? In many cases, the excitement fades after the first month while the expense remains. Cognitive biases and marketing strategies exploit this tendency, making it difficult to distinguish between real investment and emotional spending. The hidden costs. The consequences of this behavior are often invisible at first. Paying extra for a gadget, a subscription, or a premium experience seems manageable, but these costs accumulate. Every dollar spent on items that do not generate value represents an opportunity cost. For example, saving $200 per month and investing it at an average annual return of 7% could result in over $101,000 in 20 years. Missing this opportunity is a direct result of prioritizing purchases that only feel like investments. Wealth is more often preserved through consistent savings and strategic investments rather than clever purchases. Lifestyle inflation and its impact. The cycle of justified spending contributes to lifestyle inflation. As income rises, so does the tendency to rationalize bigger purchases. People earn more, yet their ability to save does not increase. The Federal Reserve reports that nearly 40% of high-income households live paycheck to paycheck, not because they earn too little, but because their expenses grow alongside their income. Have you noticed how easily new earnings disappear into upgraded phones, premium services, or fashionable items? This constant upward spending creates the illusion of success while keeping real wealth stagnant. Understanding lifestyle inflation is critical to breaking the pattern. Psychological traps. Rationalization is a powerful cognitive bias. People attach logical explanations to emotional decisions, convincing themselves that purchases are necessary or smart. Marketing strategies reinforce this by linking emotional satisfaction to financial choices. For instance, a car may be advertised as an enhancer of social status or a device as essential for productivity. Once you label an expense as an investment, your brain reduces scrutiny. The line between spending for necessity and spending for self-validation becomes blurred. Recognizing these traps is essential to regain control of financial habits. Identifying the habit. How can you recognize this pattern in your own life? One sign is justifying frequent purchases as investments without measurable returns. Another is upgrading items that still function perfectly or paying for services that remain unused. Spending more for convenience than necessity is also indicative. Consider the last purchase you claimed would improve your life significantly. Did it produce tangible benefits 6 months later? If not, it likely fell into the category of false justification spending. Being honest about these choices is the first step to correcting them. Breaking the cycle. Awareness is the first step toward change. Pause before making purchases that appear to be investments in self-improvement. Ask yourself whether the item will generate measurable value or whether it simply satisfies a temporary desire. Implementing a rule such as waiting 48 hours before non-essential spending can help prevent impulsive purchases. Defining what constitutes a real investment is also important. Investments should grow in value, increase earning potential, or enhance long-term well-being. Genuine examples include retirement accounts, index funds, skill development programs that directly increase income, or health improvements that extend productivity. Any purchase outside of these categories is likely a disguised expense. Automating savings and investments can further reduce the impact of false justification spending. By directing money to future goals before discretionary spending, you minimize the opportunity to rationalize unnecessary purchases. Small adjustments in daily habits can produce substantial results over time. A new financial perspective. Adopting a strategic mindset toward money is essential. Each dollar should serve a purpose. True financial intelligence comes from understanding opportunity cost and long-term consequences. Spending should be intentional rather than impulsive or justified by convenience. Tracking spending patterns helps identify areas where false justification spending occurs. Once identified, redirecting even half of the money previously spent on non-essential purchases toward assets can significantly accelerate wealth accumulation. CNBC reports that individuals who monitor spending and assign a purpose to each expense save nearly 3 times more over a decade than those who do not. Smart spending versus feeling smart. The difference between real wealth and financial stagnation is subtle but significant. True smart spending focuses on creating freedom, not appearances. It is measured by results, not temporary satisfaction. Each decision should be evaluated for tangible impact, not just emotional comfort. Ask yourself before every purchase, is this improving my life in measurable ways? Or am I buying a sense of progress that will soon fade? Distinguishing between these two is critical for long-term financial success. Practical tips for change. Start by categorizing expenses into necessary, optional, and disguised spending. Review monthly budgets to identify patterns where purchases were justified without measurable benefit. Focus on allocating money to assets that generate value over time. Consider adopting a mindset where you prioritize long-term gains over short-term gratification. Track the outcome of every purchase to understand its actual impact. Consistency in this approach strengthens financial discipline, which is more important than any single purchase. Behavioral strategies. Small behavioral changes produce significant results. Automatically allocating funds to savings and investment accounts prevents impulsive rationalization. Regular audits of spending habits provide insight into recurring patterns. Educate yourself about opportunity costs to increase awareness of the trade-offs inherent in each financial decision. Supportive environments, such as friends or mentors who prioritize strategic financial decisions, reinforce positive habits. Over time, the combination of awareness, tracking, and disciplined allocation reduces reliance on spending for perceived improvement. Building long-term wealth. Wealth accumulation is a product of deliberate decisions over time. Avoiding false justification spending allows money to work for you rather than against you. The most successful individuals focus on assets that appreciate or generate income, rather than items that provide temporary satisfaction. Understanding this difference between feeling smart and being smart is essential. True financial strategy is not about appearances or social validation. It is about measurable results and sustained growth. Individuals who adopt this mindset consistently outperform those who chase status through spending. If you found this helpful, like, comment, and subscribe for more financial tips. Share your thoughts below and join us in building smarter money habits today.